Welcome students of Standard 9th. I Miss Annie and together we will learn 2.3 Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Bryan. Mary Dow Bryan was born in 1816 in New York. She was an American poet, author and lyricist. She has written poems and books on children. She honored her late mother Anne Reeve Jarvis by celebrating Mother's Day and encouraged other states to observe Mother's Day too. The key is that our expression of love and appreciation come from the sincerity of heart. Values like take care, love one another, always be ready to help others, even strangers, and sensitivity. The woman was old and ragged and grey, and bent with the chill of a winter's day. The streets were white with a recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeding the glance of her anxious eye. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, come happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past a woman so old and grey, hastened the children on their way. None offered a helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels or the cross feet should trample her down in the slippery street. At last came out of the merry troop the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you across if you wish to go." Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so, without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime may lend a hand to help my mother. You understand? If ever she's old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, "God, be kind to that noble boy, who is somebody's son and pride and joy." We begin with the first stanza. The woman was old and ragged and grey, and bent with the chill of a winter's day. The streets were white with a recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. Here ragged means old torn clothes, chill indicates cold, grey indicates old, and the woman in the poem is old and is having grey hair. She has worn old torn clothes. The streets were looking white with the recent snowfall, and the woman is walking slowly due to her age. The figure of speech, the woman was old and ragged and grey. Old and grey are similar words used in the same line, so the figure of speech is tautology. Then we have second figure of speech, repetition. The word "and" is repeated for poetic effect. The third figure of speech, the streets were white with recent snow. The sound of the letter W is repeated in were and white, alliteration figure of speech. And the woman's feet with age were slow. The figure of speech is inversion. The words are not arranged in the correct prose order. The correct prose order is, "and the woman's feet were slow with age." Then we have the last figure of speech, synecdoche, where a part for the whole. Your feet is the part and it stands for the woman, that is whole. We move to the second stanza. At the crowded crossing, she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeding the glance of her anxious eye. Crossing means junction, jostled means pushed, throng is large crowd of people, unheeding, neglecting, glance, a short look, anxious, keen, eager. The woman in the poem was standing at the crowded junction, and she was pushed by the large crowd of people who were passing by her but were not bothered and neglected the short, brief look of her keen, eager eyes. So, figure of speech: at the crowded crossing, the sound of the letter C is repeated, so it is alliteration. Unheeding the glance of her anxious eye is transferred epithet, where the figure of speech, the word anxious, is transferred from the old woman to her eyes. Move to the next stanza, third stanza. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, come happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past a woman so old and grey, hastened the children on their way. Here glad means happy, school let out means school closed for the day or the day is over, flock means bunch, hailing is welcoming, piled is stacked, hastened is moved fast. The children were happy and felt free when they were out of the school. They were laughing, talking, shouting, and they were walking like herds of sheep. And they welcomed the white snow, which was stacked and deep. They walked very fast past the old woman, ignoring her, not bothered why the old woman was standing in a crowded junction. So here the figure of speech, come happy boys like flock of sheep, is simile. The boys are directly compared to flock of sheep. Then past a woman old and grey is tautology, figure of speech, where two words old and grey express similar meaning in the same line. So it is tautology. Then we move to the fourth stanza. None offered her a helping hand, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest a carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery street. Your helping hand means assistance. Timid means shy, afraid to stir, afraid to move, lest for the fear that carriage is a vehicle drawn by horse. Trample means tread or going over. So no one offered to help the old woman. She was old, weak and shy to ask for help. She was afraid to move as she feared the wheels of the carriage or the horse feet may go over her. Even the street had become slippery because of the recent snowfall. So figure of speech here, none offered a helping hand. The sound of letter H is in helping and hand is repeated for poetic effect. So it is alliteration. We move to the next fifth stanza. At last came out of the merry troop the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, I'll help you across if you wish to go. So merry here stands for jolly. Joyous is troop. Troop means group. Gazed is happiest. Paused is stopped. Whispered is spoke softly. So at last came out of the school a very jolly or joyous group, and one of the boy who is happiest in that group of boys, he stopped next to the old woman and spoke very softly that he was ready to help her to go across if she wished to go. So the woman was waiting anxiously for someone to come and help her, and finally God answered her prayer, and the boy offered to help her cross the road if she wished to go. We move to the sixth stanza. Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so, without hurt or harm, he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. Here aged means old, guided, directed, trembling, shivering, content, satisfied. The old woman placed a hand on the boy's strong young arms without hurting or harm, and the boy directed her slowly as her feet were not steady. She was trembling and shivering at the same time. The boy was proud that he was young and strong and can take the old woman across the street, and after helping her, He was happy and satisfied for helping the old woman to cross the road. He went back happily to his friends. So we come to the figure of speech. Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed is inversion. The words are not arranged in correct prose order. The correct prose order is she placed her aged hand on his strong young arms. Then antithesis, second figure of speech, two opposite words, young and aged, have been used in the same line. She placed in the same line. Then we move to the third one, she placed, and so without hurt or harm is alliteration. Sound of letter H is repeated in the hurt and harm for poetic effect. Then we move to the next figure of speech. Then back again to his friends he went. It is inversion. The words are not arranged in correct prose order. The correct prose order is then he went back again to his friend. Then we have his young heart happy and well content is synecdoche. The heart is part and it is used to refer to the boy as a whole. Then we have transferred epithet. The epithet is happy is transferred from the boy to his heart. We move to the next stanza. She is somebody's mother, boys you know, for all she is aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime may lend a hand to help my mother, you understand, if ever she is old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. So lend a hand means help. The boy told his friend that she is somebody's mother. She is old, poor and slow, and maybe someone sometime may need help my own mother when she will become old and poor, and she will need the help and he may not be around there close by to help her. So figure of speech is somebody's mother, boys you know, is inversion. It is not in correct prose order. The correct prose order is you know boys, she is somebody's mother. And someone sometime may lend a hand, that is repetition. The word some is repeated for better poetic effect. We move to the last stanza. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God, be kind to that noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy. So here bowed means bent, noble means having good morals. The mother in her home, she sat down and bent low her head at night and she said her prayers. She told God to be kind to that boy with good values, as he had been sensitive, reached out to her, helped her to cross the road. That boy is also somebody's son, and his mother must be proud of him and happy to have such a son like him. So figure of speech, in her home that night, and the prayer she said is inversion. The words are not arranged in correct prose order. The correct prose order is that night she said the prayer in her home. So we move to the critical appreciation. I hope children you have enjoyed the poem, the values that you have learned. So critical appreciation, the poem Somebody's Mother, written by Mary Doe Bryan. The rhyme scheme of the poem is AABB. The figure of speech in this poem is inversion, tautology, transferred epithet, alliteration, simile, repetition, antithesis. Unheeding the glance of her anxious eye is transferred epithet. The epithet anxious is transferred from the old woman to her eye. The central idea of the poem is about how a young school-going boy helps an old woman cross the road. It highlights the fact that we should always try to help people in need, because you never know when your old mother or you yourself will need help. So, children, your assignment will be page 36 of your textbook. Write the answers, as well as on page 38 the English workshop. So thank you.